Why is a typical workday 8 hours long? Whenever someone asks you about an average day at work, subconsciously you think of a 9 to 5. This means 8 hours of work per day, or approximately 40 hours per week. And it seems like these set timings are applied to all jobs that are available for a person to do. Have you ever thought about why these working hours have become the standard? Who is responsible for making our life so hectic? Watch the entire video to find out why. Today, we are going to find out the history regarding why a typical workday is 8 hours long. Let's start with the origin of the typical 8-hour work week. Ever since the 18th century, the typical workday has lasted between 8 to 18 hours per day for 6 days a week. Companies want to maximize the organization's profit, and this led to having workers work extremely long hours. As the workforce generally weren't focused due to these long hours, they were not very productive, and this didn't help the company achieve their maximal profits, which made the companies less money in the long run to give their staff members. Because a lot of these workers were working unnecessarily long hours and were doing physical labor, this made it hard to focus physically and mentally, and these far-fetched long hours were not sustainable. And soon, a brave British man named Robert Owen launched a campaign to have people work no more than 8 hours a day. Owen is also considered the founder of socialism as a concept. He invented the slogan, quote, 8 hours labor, 8 hours recreation, 8 hours rest, end quote, which was very famous at the time. Throughout the 19th century, a series of laws in the United Kingdom were passed that steadily improved the working conditions and reduced work hours for factory workers. For instance, the Factories Act of 1847 stated that women and children aged 13 to 18 were allowed to work a maximum of 10 hours in a single workday. Later on, in 1884, a young man named Tom Mann, he also developed an 8-hour league, which has the only target to reduce the working hours to 8. He got a huge breakthrough when they finally got successful in convincing the Trades Union Congress, which was responsible for representing most of the unions in Britain at the time. This wasn't just a British thing, however, as in 1791, labourers of Philadelphia started long strikes to shorten their workload to 10 hours a day, and in 1830, these strikes made huge strides. The workers continued to strike and continue their noble purpose, until finally a day called Labor Day came along, and on the 1st of May, 1886, the Federation of Organized Trades and Labor Unions declared that an 8-hour workday would be made mandatory. On that day, the May Parade was the first ever performed by more than 350,000 workers that ended their shift at their jobs. In 1914, the Ford Motor Company was one of the pioneers from the major businesses and manufacturers at the time to introduce this very short 8-hour workday, and Ford proved that it worked better than the traditional hours used previously. He simply cut the workday in half while doubling his employees' outputs, and as a result he received massive profits, which allowed him to pay his workers even more, and this attracted more workers to work for him. After Ford Motor's success, many organizations started to follow in the same footsteps. In today's era, scientists have proven that working intensely for a shorter period of time has been proven to have potential benefits for productivity and well-being for staff members overall. Undoubtedly, technology has changed the traditional work environment's culture, and nowadays more employees and managers have placed a greater importance on work-life balance. For example, some employers have introduced the concept of flexible hours, or team building days, and in these flexible hour schemes, employees are allowed to work when they work best. If they are performing well and do not miss any meetings or targets, then should they be allowed to do what they think is best. Moreover, the concept of team building days are playing a pivotal role in employee engagement at some successful organizations, as employees have the freedom and security to schedule their own working hours. Owen and the Ford Motor Company were revolutionary in their thinking and made their employees' lives much easier, and we will see how this changes and evolves in the near future. If you like this video, remember to smash the like button. Thanks for watching, bye!